Aloha mermaids and mermen, this is Meagan Mermaid, author of the forthcoming book Mermaid Mystery and School, the forthcoming Mermaid Empowerment Oracle deck that I'm co-creating with artist Lizzie Luna. So this is your weekly mermaid empowerment and oracle reading for the week of July 2nd through July 8th. And this week is a week full of feelings. There's a lot of water. We have a grand trine this week between the Sun in Cancer, Jupiter in Scorpio, and Neptune in Pisces. So these are making this beautiful watery trine, which means that it's a great time to feel our feelings, to connect with our heart, to connect with our emotions, to create art, to make music, and to bring more beauty into the world by feeling and acknowledging all of our emotions. But at the same time, we might be feeling very intuitive, very spiritual, and very irritable. And that is the beauty of the beauty way. The rose teaches that life is rose and thorn, and they exist simultaneously. So you can have these beautiful, amazing, transformative experiences at the same time that you're going through difficulties, and one doesn't take away from the other. That's where we're at as we're in this dimension of duality, in the third dimension. And so what we need to remember is that when something is difficult for us, when it's challenging, when one part of our tree, our rose garden, may not be blossoming, there's always another part that is. And if we can focus and have gratitude for the parts of our life that are blooming and that are blossoming, and acknowledge with acceptance and compassion those parts that may be dormant in the moment, then we'll be able to have a more whole aspect of life. And when we can become present to everything that's happening and have gratitude for all of it, then we get to enjoy the miracle of life, knowing that life doesn't have to be perfect to be beautiful. We simply need to find the lesson in every experience, the pearl of wisdom in every experience, and continue to create beauty out of every difficulty and of every circumstance, shifting from fear to love and showing others how to do that. And that's what the mermaids teach. They show us that we don't have to learn through suffering anymore. We get to learn through fun and through joy and through following our bliss. And so if you're watching this today, you're one of the way showers for this age of miracles that are showing the world that life doesn't have to be a struggle, that we can do what we love, and we can have fun, and we can have joy, and we can be one with our environment and take care of the earth, take care of the plants, take care of the animals, and live in harmony. And it all starts with us choosing love over fear in every moment. So let's see what the mermaids have to say this week about some of the changes that are happening. One big thing that we've been experiencing is this aspect of Mars in Aquarius, which is retrograde right now, squaring Uranus in Taurus. And we're going to be experiencing this for a while. It's going to go through up until October. So it might mean that you might feel more aggressive, more irritable, more overwhelmed. It might mean that like you suddenly could have a blow up, or somebody else could have a blow up, and then it's like you got struck by lightning and you're thinking, what the heck just happened? But if we can breathe through whatever is coming up, we're gonna make it out, because whatever is coming up to the surface, it's coming up because it's ready to be released. So this week, with all of this water energy, we have a chance to look deeply into our emotions, into our soul, and figure out, what are we still holding on to? Where are we still judging others instead of looking at our own pain so that we can heal it? And if something does happen, if you do mess up, if you do get in an argument, if you do make a mistake, it's okay. We're all going through this as a collective. You don't have to shame yourself. Just choose love again. It's like a muscle. Every single time that we falter, that we forget, it's okay. Every opportunity invites us again to choose love. So I've chosen one card for Monday, Tuesday, one card for Wednesday, Thursday, and then one card for the weekend. So let's begin. And so for Monday and Tuesday, we have Hero's Journey. This card is back, and it was here last week right at the start of Mars retrograde. and it says, I am the hero of my own life. And so this message is still very pertinent as we're moving through Mars retrograde, as we're discovering where those limiting beliefs are about why we haven't succeeded in our work, in our desire nature, in goal setting, where we need to take new inventory and shift our paradigm. Mars retrograde is this beautiful time where we can take a pause, and it can be difficult, yeah. It can feel sometimes like you're walking through mud and things aren't changing, things aren't happening, and it can cause people to get impatient, especially because Mars is squaring Uranus. So that impatience may be like totally caught off surprise, and you could be fine and then something just triggers you and all of a sudden, boom! That's how it works. Sometimes we learn slowly and sometimes we evolve more quickly, but the universe always has our back and wants us to grow and evolve. And so again, if you're going through those transformative, crazy, unexpected surprises and experiences, just hold on to your hat and know that good things are on the way for you. So what does it mean to be the hero of your own life? It means giving up victim consciousness. And victim consciousness starts when we're judging other people, when we're projecting, and when we are blaming somebody else for what's happening to us. If America wasn't this way, or if my family wasn't this way, or if my job wasn't this way, then things would be different. But in truth, the only way that things can be different is when we stop projecting outward and we take a look in that mermaid mirror and we see how every single person and experience outside of us is a mirror reflecting those parts of us that we still need to love, accept, and heal within ourselves. That can be a tough pill to swallow. It can be a tough pill to swallow to think that, yep, you and I have created every experience in our reality through our thoughts, through our actions, through our words, through our vibration. But the good news is that when we can take responsibility for that, even the parts that have caused suffering to ourselves and others, and forgive ourselves and forgive others, then we take back control of our life, because we can always choose again. We can choose love, and we can see those experiences as ways that have shaped us and as a way for us to connect to others, because we choose as a soul to go through difficult experiences so that we can open our hearts to more love and more forgiveness, and we can heal ourselves by walking other people through it. But it's got to start with us walking ourselves through it, walking ourselves through our own pain. And we do that by acknowledging every emotion, every feeling that comes up, not trying to push it away, using tapping or meditation or whatever healing modalities work for you that help you to release the past, to look at your shadow. This is what's important, and it's really being supported by the universe this week with all of this water energy, is that you can look at those deep, deep parts of you and show love to them, because the Divine Mother, the life force of all creation, Sophia, we are created in her likeness, and she doesn't judge. She doesn't hold things against us. So you might be walking around today carrying all these heavy burdens of shame and guilt, of things that may have happened years ago, decades ago, and you may not even realize that you're just holding on to all this pain and burden and suffering. And the Divine Mother is just waiting behind you with her arms outstretched, saying, are you ready to let it go? Because nobody else can save you. Your guides and your angels can support you and help you if you call on them for assistance, but nobody can walk your journey for you. That's got to be you. So be the hero of your life on Monday and Tuesday. Choose to look at wherever in your life you need to let go of pain, of heartache, of blame. Let it go, sacrifice it, give it back to the earth, and choose love instead. That's what Monday and Tuesday is about. We become the hero of our own life when we choose love over fear and we take back control of our reality. So let's say this 3 times to seal the mermaid empowerment in. Are you ready? I am the hero of my own life. I am the hero of my own life. I am the hero of my own life. And there you have it. Congratulations
So then as we
on
move
taking
into
back control of
midweek,
your
we
life. have freedom. Let's see if we can get a good shot of that. The light's kind of difficult. Here we go. Freedom. I free myself through my forgiveness. And you see here this beautiful dolphin that's just jumping up into the air, and dolphin medicine always represents play. And this spiral sun represents the solar plexus chakra. Yellow always represents our solar plexus because it's the color of the sun. And our solar plexus represents our inner power. And so our inner power is very connected to our ability to forgive, especially to forgive ourselves. And it's very interesting that this card is coming up as we're moving into Chiron retrograde in Aries, which happens on Wednesday. And when Chiron goes retrograde, then Chiron represents our deepest wounding. It represents that place where, as a collective, we're healing, and maybe it's easier to help other people to go through those types of experiences, but it may be more difficult to see how it shows up in our own lives. And so when Chiron goes retrograde, it's a time where that inner wounding that we're experiencing as a collective is internal. There's a lot of planets in retrograde right now. Neptune, Jupiter, Saturn, Mars is retrograde. Mercury is going to be going retrograde at the end of this month. We have a lot of changes. We're going to be moving into eclipse season as well as we move later into the month. So this is a time for you to really pause and to look within you. And don't get tripped up if right now there's not a whole lot of change happening on the outward. What we're doing as a collective is we're healing internally our limiting beliefs that we've brought from our ancestral line that we're clearing, or as a society. And with Uranus and Taurus, we're pretty much changing the paradigm now of how we make money, how we view success. There's so much change that's happening. And with Chiron and Aries, it's all about healing our right to exist. And what's scary when we're going through change, right? We want to feel safe, we want to feel secure. And so with Chiron and Aries, a lot of times that shadow side of Aries can come out as anger or wanting to be the warrior and fight against something. But whatever we fight, whatever we resist persists, right? And so if we want to be in the flow, we need to forgive and not try to be right anymore. So with Chiron in retrograde in Aries, we have an opportunity to heal that inner warrior, that parts of us that wants to fight or blame or get mad or throw a temper tantrum. That's the part that we can heal, because we don't have to be ashamed of that part. We all have it. It's our wounded inner child. And if you look at a child that's acting up, are you going to get upset with it? Are you going to get angry? Or are you just going to leave it out in the cold? I mean, we wouldn't do that to children, right? But how often do we treat our own inner child that way? Ignoring the feelings of our inner child, ignoring the pain of our inner child, ignoring the wants of our inner child. So if we want to find freedom, we need to become the parent, the divine parent of our inner child, and work through whatever's coming up. And this process can be messy sometimes. And that's why it's great to call on animal spirit medicine like the dolphins, because it reminds us to be playful, that this work doesn't have to be heavy. We can make it fun. So Monday and Tuesday, we're becoming the hero of our own life by taking control of our reality, of our thoughts, of our emotions. So Wednesday and Thursday, we can then experience that freedom of mind that comes through forgiveness, that comes through letting go of everything that's happened prior, forgiving yourself for any experiences that your soul chose out of forgetting that only love is real. Every single person that we meet is an assignment, and we've actually created soul contracts with all types of people so that we could meet at a certain moment in time on earth and heal together through experiencing soul lessons. And so if we decide to make life an adventure and create adventure instead of chaos, then this journey can be fun. And that's where the freedom comes in, because if we're holding on to unforgiveness for ourselves or other people, we're keeping ourselves chained, because the jailer is just as jailed as the inmate, right? Because it can't go anywhere if it's got to be on guard watching that inmate. So give yourself the gift of freedom on Wednesday and Thursday, and choose to let this Chiron retrograde be a time that you heal that part of you that wants to fight instead of accept things as they are, that wants to push against things instead of going with the flow, that is sad, that's upset. Create freedom by befriending that inner child part of you, and instead of making a chaotic temper tantrum, ask your heart and your mind what you really need. Maybe you need silence, maybe you need solitude, maybe you need to write, maybe you need to extend an apology to a friend or a family member, or maybe you need to dance it out, paint it out, create, whatever it is. All you have to do is be willing. That's what's beautiful about this journey, is we don't have to know how. Sometimes things may seem unforgivable. Like, we can go through these really difficult experiences and wonder, how in the world are we supposed to forgive this person? It feels good to judge them. We feel justified in judging them. But it doesn't really feel good. It may feel good for a minute, but being separated from love is never going to truly make us feel good. So we have to honor those parts of us that don't know how to forgive, and be open and be willing. And that willingness is all that Spirit needs to come in and channel that creative solution, that miracle, to open your heart more than you ever thought possible. So let's repeat this mermaid empowerment out loud 3 times to seal it in. I free myself through my forgiveness. I free myself through my forgiveness. I free myself through my forgiveness. And so it is. So as we move into the weekend, the sun is creating some beautiful trines. On Friday, the sun will be trine to Jupiter, which means it's a great time for expansion, for growth. Our faith might be lifted. We may feel more spiritual, more open. And Sunday, the sun is trine to Neptune, which means it's a beautiful artistic weekend, especially with that grand trine that I spoke of earlier in this video. There's all this beautiful water energy that's allowing us to put on our rose-colored glasses and see the beauty of the world when it might be easier to judge or to see what's wrong. And so we have all of this beautiful energy of the sun that's bringing out warmth, that's bringing out our good spirits and cheerful energy. And Mercury will also be opposing Mars. So Mercury is in Leo right now, and Mars is in Aquarius. So we have our mind in Leo, which is a fire sign that's all about the self and wanting to create and celebrate and be that warmth and sunshine. And then it's opposing Mars in Aquarius that is also retrograde. So it's wanting to serve humanity and be this like visionary energy, but it's 2 very different energies. And Mercury, our mind, and Mars, our desire nature, are sort of going 2 different directions. So you have to figure out where you are on that scale. Maybe you're too much in your ego and you're focused too much on yourself, and you need to kind of shift back into how you can be that servant of humanity. And maybe you're too much over here and you're detached and you see humanity's ideals, but you forget that humanity is made up of people, and maybe people are triggering you because of that. And so this energy can be a little volatile. So the best way to handle it is just to think before you speak and breathe. So with Mars wants to go, but Mercury might be thinking, oh, like the diva energy. That's what I'm getting with Mercury and Leo, is it can kind of be like a diva energy, like, well, I shouldn't have to do that, and I'm better than that. And then Mars over here in Aquarius might be saying like, well, you're not considering the group and you're the one that's being selfish. And so we need to figure out where we're at in that conversation and laugh, because it's all just like this beautiful game of life and we don't have to take it so seriously. And that's what the weekend card is about. The joy of being, and another dolphin to remind us to play. It says, my joy heals the whole world. So we have this opening this weekend to open up to more joy and to more light through creative expression, through opening our faith, through thinking big ideas, through new visionary ways of being, new innovative ideas. And so if you find yourself getting sucked into drama, let it go. Forgive yourself and forgive others, and know it's okay. Like, it's very conditioned in us to want to judge and to want to create issues to stir us up to make things interesting. But if we really want to heal the whole world, we're not going to do it through marches or protests or fights against anything. Anything that we're fighting against will always be a losing battle, because just like we talked about with Chiron and Aries, that warrior energy, what you resist persists. What you fight against will continue to stop you. But if you're fighting with love, there's nothing left to fight against, because love is the only thing that's real. So this weekend, allow yourself to feel joy. Do things that make you feel joyful. Play, have fun. Choose to see life as a brand new moment in every moment. Choose to see the wonders that are all around you. What do you see? What do you hear? What do you smell? Connect to this earth. The mermaids teach us that not only is joy the highest vibration, but that spirituality and sensuality go hand in hand. So we're here in this body getting to experience the pleasures of life. And when we do so in unconditional love, we don't have to feel ashamed. There's nothing wrong with being a human. There's nothing wrong with being sensual and loving your body. Sophia's will for our life is bliss and pleasure. And the mermaids can teach you how to feel comfortable in your body, how to feel safe to experience pleasure. And so pleasure is always joyful. And that's what we need to embody this weekend, is that joy of pleasure. Whatever gives you pleasure, if it's spending time with friends, if it's getting a massage, if it's being out at the beach, whatever makes you happy. The world needs everybody happy. If we want to heal the world, we have to stop looking at what needs to be fixed and start looking at how we can create more love and acceptance within ourselves, because healing the world is an inside job. So let's say this 3 times to seal the empowerment in. My joy heals the whole world. My joy heals the whole world. My joy heals the whole world. And so it is. So that is this week's Mermaid Empowerment message. If you're interested in the services that I offer, including getting your own mermaid reading, check out my website at meaganmermaid.com, and make sure you're on the mailing list at meaganmermaid.com as well to stay up to date on all of the details of this forthcoming project and to help create this dream that Lizzie and I have in our hearts of getting these decks printed and out to all of you so that we can all experience more mermaid magic. So thank you so much for being here, and until next time, angel wishes and mermaid kisses. Love you all, mermaids and mermen. Have a wonderful, wonderful week.